Let's start with the future Hall of Famer, the former Hart Trophy winner that is in 31 Thoughts this week on Sportsnet.ca. A name that is not unfamiliar with the trade market necessarily.
No,
but one, and even with 4 years left on his contract at the age of 32, a name that I'm still surprised to somewhat see in this rumor mill, and it's a guy by the name of Evgeni Malkin. I can't even say it.
Right.
Evgeni Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins. To me, that was the craziest thing by a sliver ahead of the other things that Friedge was talking about in the column this week.
Now, I know there are a lot of people that don't get why Evgeni Malkin would be named in rumors when he is a good hockey player, albeit a bit of a down year for Evgeni Malkin. But if you're up against the cap, there aren't many other options to try and improve a hockey team without moving a significant part of the team, right?
Yeah, that's how that works. If you're up against the cap and you want to make moves, you got to make a move to make a move. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people, I won't mention Edmonton yet, but there's a lot of people out there that don't understand that if you're up against the cap, the only way to achieve flexibility is to move someone on the team and or high draft picks.
Correct.
Right? That's the only, giving up your first round pick is, and if you look at the rest of cap friendly on the Pittsburgh Penguins, they don't have many of their own picks left because they've been doing that before. So if you've watched the NBA work under their salary cap, as Sid and I have since 1985, you may have realized this before the NHL got to the salary cap era. I mean, I can rifle through the names that have been traded in the NBA that people don't really understand why unless they actually watch the sport, right? Like Allen Iverson was traded. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony was traded. Shaquille O'Neal was traded. And some of those were reboots, and some of those were attempts to find some flexibility within a roster underneath the salary cap, right?
Correct.
So when Evgeni Malkin's name comes up, Jim Rutherford, who has been bold in the past, will be bold in the future.
Jim Rutherford is a cowboy.
Right.
He is not scared to do anything. He's going down the old horse road, and he's loving life.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing.
I wish I knew the song off by heart, but I don't like that.
Oh, but you dropped the Old Town Road.
I know. It's a little Nas X. Shut up, Little Nas X.
But you just know the name for the reference, but you don't know the song.
Shut up, Billy Ray Cyrus.
And I believe it's Can't Nobody Tell Me Nothing.
Can't Nobody Tell Me Nothing?
Right. The conversation that we had a month ago that drew the ire of Edmonton Oilers fans,
I didn't notice.
And I'll walk down this road right now, was centered around a very similar situation. The Oilers up against the cap, looking to improve their team. How can they do it? And the only real difference between these two teams with their their entry for the best player on planet Earth is that one is older than the other and one's roster is a little older than the other roster, right?
Yeah. Penguins compared to the Oilers, correct.
So it's not all that crazy to conceive that Edmonton might have to give up something of significance if they want to get better, just like the Pittsburgh Penguins have come to the conclusion that nobody wants Phil Kessel at $8 million a year because we've heard that name out there before.
And they've tried for 2 years to trade Phil
And Chris Letang might be the other guy that you could trade, but if you are going to improve this roster, you are going to have to move a significant piece of said roster.
And the best part about Malkin is still he's not a $10 million AAV player on your cap.
9.5.
9.5. Again, former Hart Trophy winner, multiple-time Stanley Cup winner. I know he's had a down year, and injuries do follow Evgeni Malkin around. If you bring Evgeni Malkin into your tent, he ain't playing 80 games for it.
Yeah, but he scored 42 a year ago.
Correct. This guy has the skills that can get you places. And at 32, if I were running another team, and I thought I was kind of close, I would roll, I don't even know if it's rolling dice. I would go out and try and get an Evgeni Malkin at a certain price.
Right.
I would do that in a heartbeat. But if you don't like where you're at as a hockey team, and you feel like a window is closing with a particular type of player, say it's Sidney Crosby, or whatever name you want to throw out there, you might want to make a tough decision in this lifetime. And I know it's really simple when you're in specific markets to look at a team and overvalue everybody. I've seen it a million times. This is not a new storyline in sports.
Might be happening in Toronto as
Might
we
be
speak.
happening in Toronto, might be happening in other places across Canada. But if you are up against $83 million and you are not a perfect team going in next season, guess what, Jack? You're going to have to make some moves.